is up, party people? Oda by Jim coming at you. Morning ride to work, and I thought I would tell you a story. I know it's been a while, but a Memorial Day weekend, I went on a bike adventure. So I was supposed to meet up with some guys I know from the other side of the state. We're gonna meet at a motorcycle swap meet and drag race, and kind of just kick it and, you know, hang out because we hadn't seen each other in a while. But I decided, you know what, I'm gonna be there at noon. Why don't I do some rally stops on the way? Also hit some Roadside America attractions, because I dig those. If you haven't been to roadsideamerica.com, you should go check it out. Look and see what's in your area. There's some unique stuff, just off the wall stuff in your area that would be cool to see. So as the day got closer and closer, the weather forecast got worse and worse, and by Friday night they were saying that it was going to be raining frogs and hellfire, and it was going to be real bad. So my buddies even texted me and said, hey, we're not going. And this is supposed to be on Sunday. So Saturday, sure enough, it's raining, and I'm thinking there's no way. I didn't bother routing out my trip. I didn't bother doing anything I was supposed to do. I didn't charge up any of my gear like I was gonna. But, you know, Sunday morning I'm laying there thinking, I was supposed to leave at 6 a.m. It's 8 a.m. and, you know, there's no thunder. There's no lightning. So I got up and I checked the weather map, and, you know, there was supposed to be after 6 p.m. some rough stuff. You know, some thunder, lightning, that kind of thing. So, but before 6 p.m. it was just raining. And, you know, I'm sweet but not sugar. I'm not gonna melt. So I figured, you know what, let's do this. So I got a late start, but I jumped on my bike, grabbed my gear, headed out, and I have some of the points that I'm supposed to go to into my GPS, and then some on my phone, and it really was not well planned out. The other thing is my GPS, I don't have power for it yet, so I was going off the battery charge because I don't have my stupid adapter that lets me plug into my bike. So I didn't know how long that was going to last, so I couldn't count on that guy. Anyway, so I get going. Sure enough, it's raining. I got to the toll road where I have an easy pass, a little toll pass that supposed to get you through and you don't have to stop and pay the tolls. Well, I got up there and pulled out my easy pass and was waving it, and the gate wouldn't open. I was like, oh crap. A nice lady came over and explained to me that, yeah, hey, your pass, it reads way back there, not up here. So if you don't have it out back there, then it's not gonna work. And I had it right here in my jacket pocket, so I could just grab it and hold it up. But apparently the transponder will not work through a first gear jacket. So the tank bag, I think, with the transponder in there should work. Anyway, so I get out on the interstate, and it's not bad. You know, traffic's not heavy. It was rainy, but it was good. I was in a nice pocket where there wasn't very many cars, and the problem I was having was this windscreen. You can see that I've adjusted heights several times on this. If I have it too high, then all the water beads up on my visor, or on my visor on my helmet, and I have to lean over to the side to have the wind blow it off. So I was experimenting lowering it down, you know, at highway speeds and finding what's good. And, you know, I found out I could actually get it a lot lower than I had been riding and not have the wind buffeting when I was on the interstate. Don't understand the physics or aerodynamics of that, but that's how it worked. So but a couple times while I was adjusting, you know, I'd have to pull these out and I'd be wiggling it up. And one time I said I was going to go higher, and I pulled and I pulled, and whoop, this whole top piece came off, because there's nothing to stop it at the bottom. So so I'm holding this thing, and it's, you know what it's like holding something in high wind that's flat. So I was trying to put it right here down and hold it down, and luckily I was about a mile from a rest area, so I just kind of slowed down a little bit and took it easy, and then got off, and I shifted without using my clutch, because I didn't have my right hand. I got to a spot where I could stop and put it back on. That was fun. Scared the crap out of me. So I made it to the first place I was going. It's a roadside attraction. It's a memorial to Smokey. I'm going to make a video about it. Smokey is this dog that they found when during World War II. They found this dog, and a soldier trained it to do tricks, and I mean, he was really a dog guy. And they ended up, like at one point in time, there's this huge wide runway, and they have these airplanes taking off all the time because they're supporting the forward units, and they can't stop it. They can't stop the airplanes taking off and landing, but they need to run a communications cable across this runway underneath it, and so that means stopping it and digging up a trench, and they're talking, you know, weeks of downtime. So this guy had this dog. It's a Yorkie. It's a little freaking dog, and he tied a string to it and had it run from one side of the runway to the other side in a little 6-inch culvert, or I don't know if it was 6 inches, but anyway, in a small culvert across, pulling that string. Then they could pull the communications cable across. I mean, so this dog, you know, did USO shows and everything. It was pretty impressive. So I stopped by there. It was Memorial Day weekend. I figured, you know, I'm a vet, we'd go and see a hero's memorial. I do not discredit anybody who does their job to the best of their ability, with the right heart and spirit, I think is a hero. So whether you're a grunt on the front line, or a photographer or cartographer, or whatever you may be, I think if you're out there doing it to the best of your ability, you're a hero. God bless you. Thank you for your service. So after that, loaded up and went to the first of my States Confusion stops, and that was Cleveland State University. Had a little trouble figuring out where to take the picture because I didn't research. So I ended up pulling up on a sidewalk, and there's the "You Are Here" sign that says Cleveland State University, and there's the building behind it. So I got a picture of that with my bike and flag. And then off I headed. You know, I'm excited. It's going good. The rain stopped. Kent State University is the next thing. So I buzzed down to Kent State University, and there's a lot of construction, and there's an SUV riding my butt for quite a while, and it didn't matter what lane I was in. He just wanted to be right behind me and really close. So you know, I eventually ended up just staying in the right lane and just staying with traffic, and eventually he got bored with that and flew by me. Met up with some Harley riders. They happened to be going the same way I was going, and you know, that they didn't acknowledge that I existed, but I rode with them for a while because we were going the same speed, and I figure, why should I be taking up an extra lane when they're already got their little convoy in their one lane? So I jumped in with them for a little bit. That was kind of fun. And let's see, made it down to Kent State. No problem finding a spot to take a picture there. Beautiful spot. And I thought, okay, well, good. Let me put in the next one. The next one is Big Friend. So it's a Roadside America attraction that is a muffler man. Muffler men if you don't know, there used to be over 300 in the US, and they were an oddity that would get people's attention. They were a giant dude, and you know, they were usually like, the first ones were like holding a muffler for a muffler shot, but they've been made to do, you know, be cowboys or Indians or whatever, these giant things, and people would stop and take their picture with it, and it was a thing. And I really dig that. Route 66 used to be littered with these guys. So there was one nearby, and I haven't been to it, so I was like, I'll go ahead and get a picture with it and, you know, check it out. And I figured I would dig that, but turns out that my routing was crap, because I was supposed to hit Big Friend right after I got done at Cleveland State. It was between Cleveland and Kent. So my unpreparedness ended up costing me seeing Big Friend. So I put in my next stop after that into my GPS there at Kent State and started going. And then I saw an X-Wing fighter. Yeah. So I was at an intersection, and there was this, across the intersection there was a restaurant, and they had an X-Wing fighter, and I was like, alright, that place looks kitschy, that place looks interesting, I gotta stop there. So I hadn't stopped, I missed Big Friend, I figured, okay, well, I'll grab some food. So I went in, and it was really interesting inside. They had, you know, this just decor everywhere, just stuff, tchotchkes and kitsch everywhere. So there was a boat inside the restaurant. That was kind of cool. So I sat down and got out my GPS and my phone and started planning out my next stops, and there was only 2 stops left, and I made sure I had both of them in both. I checked the routing on them. Yep, looks good. The service at this restaurant was super slow. I got 1 cup of coffee that when I first ordered, and nobody came for refills. And all I was having is some eggs and bacon, and there was it took a long time. I asked for my check before my food even got there, if that tells you anything. So off I run. As soon as I got it, I threw my stuff in my bike and headed off. And you know, most of this time my Google Maps and my Garmin GPS were in agreement. You know, it was maybe a minute difference in time. Maybe one wanted to take me to take exit 21 and the other wanted me to take 22 or something like that. You know, they were just super close. So I had a good confident feeling. Well, now I start looking, and one is saying, my Google Maps was saying that, hey, you'll be there in an hour and 10 minutes to your next stop. Whereas my Garmin was saying you'll be there in 51 minutes. So that's a 20-minute difference. I'm like, wow, that's kind of crazy. So I think I'll give the Garmin a shot. I mean, it's still an unknown, but I'll give it a shot. So I started following the Garmin, and the more I drove, the longer I drove, it was, you know, my Google Maps is saying, hey, take this road. Nope, you missed it. Now take this road. Nope, you missed it. And my Garmin said, just keep going. So I started questioning it. So at one point in time, I just pulled over and stopped and looked. And because something was off. And what turns out happens is I had Ontario, Ohio as my next stop, and that's what I had told my Google Maps, but I had told my Garmin that the next stop was Nevada, Ohio, which it's spelled exactly like Nevada, Ohio, and I called it Nevada, Ohio, but it turns out if you're from Ohio, it's not Nevada, it's Nevada. So my Garmin was taking me to Nevada, which was skipping my Ontario, Ohio stop. So When I told my Garmin that I was going to Ontario, it said, "Oh yeah, you're going the wrong way. You need to go that way." Listen to Google Maps. I agree with him. So I had to turn and add another 20 minutes on top of what would have been an hour and 10. Now it was an hour and 30. So, but not bad. So easy to get my picks at Ontario and Nevada. As I was leaving Nevada, it let loose. It started raining pretty good, and it was getting close to that 6 o'clock where the bad storms were supposed to hit. So I pulled over and put on my rain gear and jumped on the bike and beat feet for home. So it was a wonderful time. I really had a good time. I was worried about ergonomics. My butt did not get sore. My knee got sore, my left knee, but I've had problems with that knee in the past. Besides that, I really didn't have anything. I think maybe some bar risers to bring the bars back so I'm not stretched out all the time, but I really had an enjoyable time. I really enjoyed seeing stuff. I think my routing is questionable just because I did not plan, so now I got to do one that I definitely planned. So anyway, long enough video. I just wanted to share my my big ride with you, my rally ride, and I intend on doing more of those in the future. So do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell. You know what? Never mind. I'm doing you a favor. I'm bringing you some awesome content here. You know you love it. So do yourself a favor and hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the content bell, because that's the way you're going to know when the new Moto by Jim videos come out. And you wouldn't want to miss those. Alright, well, thank you for coming along for this morning ride. We're starting it out. And I appreciate you riding with me. Stay safe, get out and ride. Moto by Jim out.